here are some characteristics of intuition: is immediate understanding. Number one, immediate understanding. So in your intuition, when you get it's more like you get an insight into an idea or an event that is about to happen, and immediately you just understand it without you necessarily thinking about it. And sometimes it is even difficult to explain. Also, intuition rides on emotion, right? It rides on emotion. It has some emotional components to it, right? So it is closely tied to our emotion, and sometimes it can manifest in feelings, and these feelings can be comfortable or uncomfortable. Why is it important that we begin to pay attention to the intuition, or how can we use it or leverage it for our own personal growth? Number one is you need to trust it. I've had several episodes myself, with relation to my intuition.
Stretch Street Podcast.
Okay, welcome to another episode on. Before I go and say Stretch Street Podcast, no. It is your voice, your impact. How are we doing today? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's a beautiful Monday. Monday afternoon or Monday evening, depending on where you are joining from. Well, it could be Monday morning for you as well. So let me know where you're joining from. Is it morning? Is it afternoon? Is it evening? Whichever it is, greet me according to your timing. So if it's morning, say good morning. Say good morning. If it's afternoon, say hi, good afternoon, EJ. If it's evening, say good evening. So I'm going to say good evening from here, from the UAE. It's past 4 p.m. right now. If you're joining me from anywhere, let me know where you are joining from. I see you guys on LinkedIn and on Instagram. I see you. This is my cup of tea. Thank you. I am Osaze. Thank you. Who else do I see there? Queen of the Mic. I see you. Stretch Street Podcast. Of course, I see you. Okay. Thank you so much for joining today. How are you? I'm just gonna dive straight into it and bring up my co-host, because today we're together. It's you, it's she and I and she. It's just the both of us today. So we're having this sweet conversation. I'm going to bring her up on stage right now, and then we can take it away. Hello, Gracie. Hello, Gracie. How are you?
Hello, beautiful people. It's another wonderful Monday afternoon here in Nigeria, West Africa, Abuja. I don't know where you're tuning in from, but this is to say, how are you? Okay, let me do this quickly. I've never done this, but I'm going to do this. So here in Nigeria, we have three major languages. We have several languages, but I'm going to greet you in three different languages. Ẹ káàárọ̀ o, ǹdèèwó o, sẹ̀nú o. Something different for the month of May. How far now, the energetic PJ?
I am awesome. I am beautiful, as you can see. Thank you. It's yeah, it's another Monday and another beautiful week, another opportunity to reset, another opportunity to look at how far we've come and say, okay, are we doing well? Okay, we're doing well. We can do more, we can do better. And in the areas that we're not doing well, like, okay, we got this, we can do this. We can do this, These days, my self-talk has gone to another level. Like, every time the thought is coming, like, oh man, look at all the things that still, I'm like, oh, you got this, you can do it. It's a lot, but you can do it. You can do it. And that keeps
it's
me
very
going.
beautiful. You know how I've started seeing things in recent times, which is also something that I'm considering to be growth. Because recently I had a session and I realized that this client was anxious over nothing really, nothing really.
Hmm.
This client was worried and was almost going into depression because of something that was non-existent. And then
Hmm.
after that session, it got me thinking, and I had to introspect. I had to ask myself that, Grace, what are your stressors? What are the things stressing you now? And then for me, I was like, wanting to be a billionaire, wanting to have this, wanting to have that, wanting to grow a wonderful family, having this. And I'm like, okay, and I brought it back down. What do you need right now? Now, where you are now, that you can be comfortable where you are now. And I said, let me eat, make I belly white, then beautiful family, some money in my account, and I said, okay, I think I love that better, to be in the position where I'm not dropping what I need to do for my future, yeah, but I'm not
Mm,
worried over that. I'm
yes.
just going to deal with what I have now. And then, so I think that has helped me, in the last couple of weeks, that the most important thing to have is health, your good health. Belle will pay me this last few days, eh? My
Wow.
tummy ached me, and I
Oh.
was like, God help me. What did I eat? What did I eat? When I was better, I was like, thank God. I think what we have that we underestimate is good health. So,
Honestly, honestly, I couldn't agree more, honestly. And it's it's funny because I think it was probably a month ago I started to have this serious pain on my thumb, and it started to swell.
mm,
Wait till I no think finish. Just a thumb, oh, and it was affecting the whole of my system. And wait till I no think finish. I started to go on Google. Like, hey, is this
ah,
week low? Like, what's
Google.
this? Like, is
Never,
this week low?
never
What
look
can
for your
cause it?
symptoms on Google.
Hey, it's a spiral that you might not recover from if you don't quickly, like, Yoruba people
Run
say
away from there.
jarega. Oh my goodness. I started thinking, what is this? Almost see the kind of prayer I was praying, like, God, just heal me, God, please. And then thank God he healed me because the thing disappeared. I'm like, thank God, because I started to worry, like, where I want to go and be looking for where to cure weekly or whatever. And then if what if it spreads to the other thing? A lot. So we really, really do underestimate health. And so again, it's almost like there's a lot that is not working or that looks like it's not working really. But if you're healthy, you can still think straight, you're sane. I think there is it's more than enough reason to be thankful. It's more than enough reason to be grateful and to just say, okay, this is where we are at. Where are we going? What step can we take today that will get us a step, an inch, a centimeter, a foot, closer to that goal rather than, overthink what is to come or dwell on what is in the past, which is why it's very, very important that we are mindful of now and then, take advantage of the moment. Well, welcome again to this week's topic. And again, we're officially counting down to our first year anniversary. I know we're not giving you any gist here, but we're saying this out so that we can be accountable to get on this meeting and quickly put things together for our first anniversary. We started Your Voice, Your Impact, this live broadcast in June of 2023. So next month, by God's grace, we would be a year old. So that is a year, one whole year of us showing up every single Monday. Of course, we started off on Instagram and then we migrated to, at some point, I think we did like a quick 2 weeks on X. It wasn't working. Then we decided to leverage StreamYard to stream to 3 different platforms. So that is on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Okay, so if you're joining us for the first time, you can catch up on some of our old content. I mean, they are great content, I kid you not. All right, so you can check us out on YouTube, Your Voice, Your Impact. Look for us on YouTube, Your Voice, Your Impact, and catch up on some of our previous content. And also, one of the things that really inspired this is because for myself and Grace, we do believe that your voice is meant for impact, regardless of the industry you are in, your level of experience. You do know something that other people don't know. And until you say those things, until you share, people might not even know what you are about. People might not know the your level of knowledge, right? And so we are saying, okay, fine. We also know, and it's going to link to what we're talking about today. We also know that not many people have the confidence, have the personal motivation to, really share their message or do it on their own. And that's why we said, okay, you know what? We are going to lead by example. We're going to share what we know. We're both coaches, and we've at least brought more coaches on this program, but as well as other people from other industries as well, right? So we've brought other people from other industries as well. But what we're trying to do is to be that platform to help people share their voices, to help people share their message. And so I'm reaching out to you today as we count down to our first year anniversary, doing this for that's almost 53 weeks of, consistency. That tells you something about who we are as people, that we are committed to our commitment. So that means, first of all, if you're working with us as coaches, we're committed to our commitment as coaches. We're going to help you get the result that you're supposed to get. We're going to keep you accountable. We're going to ensure that your goal, is met, because your win is our win. That's something that you should know about the both of us from our consistency on this show. But also is that we're here to support you, really. We want the world to hear your voice as well. And we're saying, if you have a message, if you're an expert in your field and you have a particular topic you want to talk about, this is the platform for you. It is your voice, it is your impact. The world needs to hear you. There's somebody out there who needs to hear your message. Do not be afraid. Come with us. Let us, support you and be that cushion for you so you don't have to do it alone. All right. But today, our topic is, what's your SQ? I put this up on my WhatsApp status early this morning, and somebody sliding into my DM. I'm like, what's SQ? He said, what's SQ? And when I told the person, it's like, oh, I thought it was Special Queen. I said, Special Queen, Queen of the Coast. So SQ is social intelligence, right? And so we're talking about that today. I mean, you've heard about IQ. Some people would say, this person has low IQ. Whether somebody is not book smart, you say, this person has low IQ if you're not book smart. But what about SQ? What about your social intelligence quotient? How sociable are you? And how can you leverage that for great things, for success in life? Right. Earlier on in the week, I think it was Grace who shared a message. She shared a broadcast, and I'd just like to read a few sentences from that broadcast as we open up this conversation. All right. And it was talking about the different type of Q IQ, or the different type of Qs we have. So there are four different type of Qs. We have IQ, which is intelligent quotient. We have EQ, which is emotional quotient. We have SQ, which is social quotient, and we have adversity Q, which is AQ, right? AQ, which is adversity quotient. Now, intelligent quotient is the measure of your comprehension or comprehension ability, how you can solve maths, memorize things, and recall subject matters. Emotional quotient, which is your EQ, is the measure of your ability to maintain peace with others, keep to time, be responsible, be honest, respect boundaries, be humble, genuine, and considerate. On the other hand, social quotient, which is SQ, and which is what we're diving deep into today, is the measure of your ability to build a network of friends and maintain it over a long period of time. And then the final one, which is adversity quotient, maybe we'll talk about this another day, is your ability to be able to go through rough patch in life and come out without losing your mind, right? And we all have this. It's just that the level is different. So now coming back to your SQ, which is your social quotient, how have you been able to first build, establish, let's start from establish relationships, build them, maintain them, and nurture them, into, something that is great, something that can help you, something that can push you. And even from that write up, I love the example the writer put there. Like, see, people who have social quotient, that they ask you, people who have higher emotional and social quotient, they tend to go further in life than those with just IQ. So you can be smart, you can be book smart, you can be very intelligent, but if you're not social, if you're not emotionally intelligent, if you're not socially intelligent, it can mar you, it can cut short your intelligence, it can box you in, it can cut you off from opportunities just because you don't know how to maintain relationship with people. And that's what we want to talk about today. So Gracie, I would say when you thought about, this topic and everything, what was the first thing that came to mind that you want to speak to when it comes to social quotient?
Alrighty, thank you so much. And first thing I would say is, because I know that we're social beings.
Mm,
As human beings, we are social animals, and one critical area when it comes to mental health is
health. Mm,
the social part of you is part of what is scored. When they are scoring, so if this is mental health,
mm,
when they want to score your mental health, they'll say your emotional well-being, your psychological well-being,
psychological. Mm,
your social well-being,
well-being.
and other things.
Mm,
Now, starting from that place, I love how we were able to say forget IQ. Some people were like, how would you say we should forget IQ? IQ is the whole of the whole. Yeah. And then you see people in the society. You see people that have very low IQs be making billions, connecting
mm,
with people. After they did all these things, they say, you know what? Indeed, forget your IQ. Uh, IQ is important. It's how we were able to memorize, analyze, do all those things. What we were basically taught in school, we're taught to improve our
our IQ.
um, intelligent quotient. And
Mm.
then while we're building that, we forgot that, look, no matter the book where you sabi, you'll be dealing with human beings, man.
Right,
You'll be dealing with
right.
human beings. So the topic came to my head as a result of us throwing light, into that part that has been almost neglected, because
Neglected, yeah.
parents nowadays will read your book, read your book, read your book. While that is important, it is also
Mm.
important because I did an experiment for 2 years, working with teenagers and working with children, and I realized that some children in these days, in the Gen Zs, you find that the problem they have is they are social only online. When you
Yeah,
meet them in real life, they are anti-social. So
right.
now to bring back why I think this topic is important is, when you talk about social intelligence, you're talking about, first knowing yourself, understanding who you are, being self-aware, and then knowing other people around you, being able to build relationships. Because as a matter of fact, if you're in a professional field, if you're doing business, if you're doing anything, the only thing that will take you from where you are to where you want to be is
It's
how
your
you relate with the
with
people in
people.
your environment. So if you
Yeah.
have 100% IQ and zero SQ EQ, you would not, be successful. So you can leave all those people that are very high doing their IQ, because of course there's an advantage. If your IQ is very high, we can leave you to be doing things that you don't need to relate with people. That's the only advantage. But
Mm,
when you have to relate with people, and when you don't even relate with people, at the end of the day, it's another thing that we in the mental health space would say, that you are become socially awkward. And when you're
mm,
socially awkward, people will run away from you. And when people run
right.
away from you, you start to feel isolated. You start to feel
Isolated.
lonely. And that's the number one, according to WHO, the latest mental illness is loneliness.
Loneliness. Hmm.
Loneliness is the most recent mental illness. So we want to be social people. We want to be social.
Right.
So we're going to talk a lot about how you would build your social intelligence and some of the things that you can do to improve your social intelligence. So today, that's what myself and my co-host the energetic, the energetic. EJ will be talking about. And I would
Absolutely.
love to hear from you some of the things that you do to be socially relevant.
Yeah. So please be a part of the conversation in the comments, whether you're connecting from Instagram, from that's a Facebook, from Instagram, YouTube, or um LinkedIn. Let us know what are some of the things that you engage in to ensure that you are not neglecting your social well-being, right? Because again, why is it important that you pay attention to your social quotient? Because without, like Grace said, without building those strong relationships, right, there is so far you can go in life. There is that, proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. You cannot go together with people if you are not aligning with them, if you are not agreeing with them, if you cannot relate with them. So it's your social quotient helps you build strong relationships. It's also a very vital characteristics of a good leader, because if you want to be in space of leadership, whether it is something you are actively gunning for, or it is just, maybe life puts you in a place where you have to lead. For example, if you are the firstborn in your family, you did not negotiate that, right? But you are the firstborn, and ideally you should be leading, right? So um if your social quotient, right, is low, then you would not be able to relate even with your family well, and you would not be able to lead properly. But with your social quotient, you're able to relate with people, you're able to understand, just like she said, like, your social IQ helps you understand yourself, but it also helps you understand other people. It helps you to read emotions. You can kind of read body language. You can read facial expression, when somebody is cold towards you, when somebody is kind of worried, when somebody is, hostile, you can sense it, and you can probably maintain boundaries, or find a way to deal with people. So it is very important. It is important to help you build strong relationships. It is important to help you lead others with influence, not authoritatively or dictating. No, it will help you lead with influence by example, right? It will, when you have a high social quotient, it will help you communicate clearly. You'll be able to communicate clearly, not just, passing on information, but also communicating your emotions with people, and even helping others communicate theirs. There are people that you think that they are quiet, they don't talk, they don't do anything, but when they sit with somebody who is whose social IQ is high, you will be shocked that these same people that you think they are very quiet, they don't talk, they will start to talk. I have seen that happen for me a lot. Like, I go into a room and people are like, "Ah, they don't talk." But sometimes I don't know, I can read. I can sometimes sense when somebody is feeling extremely shy in the midst of people, and they are just isolating and hiding themselves. I can sense it. And so sometimes I just go up to them, and then, I relate to them. And at the end of the day, it always happens that it's like, thank God you came, because even though I want to, but I just don't know how to approach people to go and start conversation. But if anybody comes to me, right, I would open up and talk, right? I still had that same conversation in church yesterday with somebody. Like, person was just standing there. I'm like, okay, hi, how are you? It's like, okay. This person said they've been in that church for over a year and they don't know anybody. How can you be in a place for a year? You don't know anybody. Like, you're not connected to anybody. I'm like, why? No, you should, right? It's like, no, me, if I'm here like this, if somebody come to me, I'll talk. Or what? For me to go and talk to the person, I'm like, you have to just try. So again, when your social IQ is not zero, of course, there's always room for improvement. It will help you communicate better. It will help you communicate clearly. It will help you communicate persuasively, so that you're able to help people see from your perspective, or from even other perspective. It will also help you with conflict resolution, right? Because for example, for a leader, when you are leading a community or leading a group of people, there will always be conflict. There always be somebody said this, somebody said that. So when you've worked on your social quotient, you'll be able to have people come in the same room to resolve issues without anybody breaking anybody's head. And one of the best qualities I like is negotiation. And that's something that you will grow over time. But with you growing your social quotient, you'll be able to improve on your negotiation skills as well, right? So those are some importance of, you know, understanding your social quotient and actually digging deeper to, improving it. But let's go into how we can improve it. How can we, Coach Grace, how can we improve this thing? Because I think it is there. It's just probably dormant, or like you said earlier, or neglected. And it's like when you don't, anything you neglect is going to go rusty. It's going to atrophy, right? If you leave your hand like this, for a long time, you'll be shocked that you will not know how to use that hand again. It's like that, even muscles and everything. So how can we improve, our social quotient?
All right. So, one beautiful thing that I love is I don't think I listened to one of the co-founders of NLP. So I'm very very I love the idea of NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. I am a certified NLP practitioner. And one thing that I learned, is in NLP is communication is everything. Effective communication is everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to share ways, ways by which or ways of improving our SQ. But let me quote what that man said when I was watching his video over the weekend. He said that when I hear people say you cannot teach an old dog a new trick,
New trick.
that I say it's a lie, because I'm a dog trainer and I train old dogs new tricks. You know what? I ran away with that. I ran away with it because I'm surrounded. I have certain people that when they come for coaching, or when we find ourselves in conversations, they will tell you that, I'm 50. Yes, I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. Just indulge me. I'm 50. Oh, I can't start this thing. I better go. Something I've been doing for 100 years. Is it now I want to start it? My point is, the first way to be able to achieve anything in life generally is by learning,
Hmm.
by training. So you ask yourself, this social quotient, social intelligence that they're talking about, what is it? We have told you what it means. What it means is, being socially relevant, being socially well, being able to communicate with your environment, being able to. So the next thing would be, what do I need to put in place to help me be socially relevant?
Hmm.
Ichiro just shared some of the benefits of being socially intelligent. And I'm going to share some of the things that you need to do, which is number one, be teachable, be open
Hmm.
to learn, be open to be trained. Now, 5 years ago, or maybe 4 years ago, here, 5 years ago, if someone had told me that, Grace, somebody can just call you from nowhere, from out of the blues, to come and talk about something, and you will not say, no, please, 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 no, no, can we leave it for later? Because I was, I won't say I was shy, but I had not built myself to a point where I can say, okay, let me come and see. I will blab because I
Hmm.
wasn't equipped 5 years ago. So what did I do to equip myself? I started reading to expand my horizon. I started speaking, using my voice as my impact, like I'm doing now. And I started doing things. I started learning. I started acquiring new knowledge, public speaking skills, effective communication skills. These are the things that would help you be confident. Because one of the things that we have realized in our field of work is that it's not like that person cannot talk. Oh, the person, if
Yes.
you open tab, if you leave them in a comfortable zone, you will be like, shut up, you
Right.
too talk. But when you take them out of their comfort zone and you put them
Mm.
in a place where they're not familiar, they will be mute. They will be quiet. That's because they don't have that confidence in themselves that they would not go and jabber. Jabber means they will not go and blab or say nonsense.
Or mess up.
So
Yeah.
for one to be socially relevant and for you to be able to build your social IQ, you must learn. You should always be available to learn something new, regardless of your age, regardless of what you think about yourself, regardless of the stories that you have told yourself.
Mm.
Secondly, you should practice, practice, and practice. For
Mm.
me, every Monday, my brain already knows that between 1 and 2, I am going to practice and I'm going to lend my voice. So because it's a systematic thing, we have already put it in our program for the week. I must make myself available. So, in building your social intelligence, I've just shared 3 tips. Be available to learn something new every day. Read, and practice effective communication, public speaking. If you can make yourself available to learn the act of speaking to people, so that when you're caught off guard, you'd have 1 or 2 things to say. As you're doing that, you'll be able to enter rooms and you'll not be
Mm.
afraid, even if the president, even if the president is there, pata, he will ask me one question and I would have something to say. But people are afraid because when they get into a room and they ask them questions and they don't know what to say, they'll be like, I will be so embarrassed and I will now keep quiet. What if they ask me this or that? But once you're ready, you'll be available to go anywhere. I say this all the time, that bad as the bad, I can stand anywhere and talk. Pata, I will talk about my field or what I do. Just know something
Right.
so well that you'll be able to say something about it. So for me,
Do you
I
know?
would just say those 4 tips.
Yeah. Do you know it's funny that this thing you just said? Do you know it happens there? I interview people a lot, and I also watch interview videos. Do you know that some people are so practice this thing that even when you ask them a question, is what they want to answer, they will answer. You be wondering, that's that's not what they asked you now. What are you saying? But it's like, see, they've so practiced. Like, see, if they ask me anything now, now wait, I'll go talk with this. Some people are telling you,
Politicians do that. It was after this our presidential election I found out that so this man can talk like this. They know how to. So that's what coaching does. Coaching, they know how to meander their way into something different that you just, you come back to. It's not a
like,
matter of intelligence. So what's confidence? Confidence is saying something, even if it's a lie, confidently, so well that the person that is asking you will be like, oh, that's
you be
true.
like,
That's true. After that place, they can now go back. I'm like, wait, so that's the way that woman they talk that I don't be lies, so but at that time the person was very confident and the person said what they said, and I mean they're done. It's better to be that way than to be okay,
even when you know it,
okay,
even when you know it, yeah, it will become
okay,
like a lie.
they'll be like, what's this person saying, can't you talk,
Oh my goodness.
so it's part of
Right.
what we're saying.
To just add to some of
I
the things. Yeah, go on. Go on.
see, I must say this. This is very critical. This is very important. Because for me, I had to be intentional, and I said, let me quickly say this before. When you talked about going to an environment and talking, introducing yourself and creating an atmosphere for communication. For me, I know I can talk, I can gist, but it was very hard for me in the past to go into a room and start a conversation.
Mm,
Surprisingly so. I'm usually the one that will sit down and wait for the MC or whoever is going to start something to force us to communicate. You know,
mm,
but I lived that life for so long that I saw that it wasn't working for me. So when I was coming into the city that I currently live, I told myself that, Grace, you will do something every week. And thank God, Ejiro, you're part of well, in the same group where we talk about these things. And I told you guys when I was coming to this city that one thing I'm going to do intentionally is to improve in my networking skills by
mm.
joining societies or joining
Groups,
associations where I'll be
communities.
able to talk, to communicate. And I did that well. So the people I have in my space now are people that I intentionally moved myself from my comfort zone
Towards.
to join them so that I could build that part of me. So if you're there, I just thought I should quickly say this. If you're there and you're saying to yourself that it's not me, I know, I'm the quiet type. It's not me. Well, if it's working for you, fine. But if you know you want to move from a particular place to the next place, there are some skills that you
Come out
need to
of it.
learn. And,
Okay.
and, and
Yes.
that's why I said it would be important to quickly chip that
To
in.
mention
I'm
that.
better than the person
Absolutely.
that I used to be in that area.
Absolutely. Intentionality, like I said in I think I dropped that in a post I made earlier on today on LinkedIn. Intentionality is a superpower. Don't joke with it. Like there is there like it's almost like the impossible can become possible when you are intentional. Like once you make up your mind, like this thing we are doing it, you will be shocked where the confidence, the strength, the tenacity, the agility will come from for you to do it. So to add to some of the things that Grace has shared already about how to improve your social quotient, another thing I'd like to add is be practice active listening. All right. I thank God for coaching. Thank God for coaching. Like, thank God for coaching because coaching has really, really changed my life personally. So it's even beyond just, it's not just about me coaching other people, but me being coached, and also understanding how to coach myself sometimes. But I'm grateful for my coaches and I'm grateful for the opportunity to also coach other people. But coaching has really helped me to consistently hone my listening skills. I'm still a work in progress in that regard, but like I am way better than before. I think before now, I used to listen to respond, but now I listen to understand so that I'm able to almost unpack what that person is saying. And I've gotten that feedback a lot when I'm in one-on-one with people or just sitting down with somebody. Like, so people will just start talking and they'll be like, "Ah, now wow, EJ, like there's something about you. Like I don't normally open up to people like this, but look at me just opening. You're such a good listener, right? So one of the things that you can use in increasing your social quotient is listening, and it's going to take practice. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take practice. It's a continuous, it's a journey. It's not a destination. I'm continually learning to even listen more engagingly, right? It's part of one of my coaching masteries, and one of the ones that I really need to strengthen: engaged listening. And that is you listening with an like empty mind. You're not, sometimes when you're talking to somebody, your brain is already thinking of like 1,000 things that you want to say based on that. But sometimes, like, no, just really listening to understand and being aware of what the person is saying and even what the person is not saying, so that when you want to respond, you're not just going to respond out of what you are thinking, because sometimes your response is not even going to be to continue what they are saying, but rather to ask whether you understand what they are saying. And in asking that question, they will go deeper and then you will understand it better. Because sometimes when somebody says something the first time, it might mean or what their intentions are is totally different from what you heard. So when you just listen to just respond, that's why we have conflicts, because people just listen to respond. Somebody is saying you stop, stop it, don't do that. It could be from a place of don't do that, that's dangerous. But maybe the way it came out, might you might have heard don't do that, and you're like in your head immediately, you're like, how dare you? Who are you to talk to me like that? Meanwhile, all you could have said is, sorry, what did you just say? That's just simple. If you don't need to say sorry, sorry. You know that sorry thing is a thing that we're working on. You don't need to apologize. No, you did not do anything. But it's like you saying, excuse me, what did you just say? That simple response, that simple response, right? To say, what did you just say? Would first of all alert the person to know that they probably said it the wrong way. So they want to rephrase, like, oh, I mean, do you see? In that case, there will not be problem, because you wouldn't have give the person, they gave you bass. You don't even wait to understand whether it's really bass. You're giving them both, and then it will turn to trouble, right? So practice active listening. Listen actively to what people are saying and even what they are not saying. Sometimes people will say, no, I'm okay. But you can see clearly that they are not okay. Like, how are you? I'm okay. But you can see it clearly. You're like, oh, okay. Well, from what I see, you don't look like, is this something you want to talk about or no? Do you see? So pay attention, ask questions, show genuine interest when you are doing that. When people see, and people can sense it, really, people can sense when you're genuinely interested in what they are saying. Okay. So when you show that, sometimes, like I said, it's still going to take practice, because sometimes, honestly, you're not interested. But if you want to build this skill, you have to learn how to be interested, right? And one thing, when you talked about grace, when you talked about being in a room and waiting for people and being afraid, which is what, lack of confidence, because being afraid that you ask me question now, I don't know the answer. You assume the position of the questionnaire. It puts you in a position of power every time. Why? Because people like to feel like they're teaching or they're showing you something. People like to feel like they are more knowledgeable than you. That's just who we are as human beings. People like to feel like they're more knowledgeable than you are, right? So if you just position yourself as a questionnaire, class, you don't not be the answer question now. Now you they ask question. Let them answer. So they will do more talking and you will do more listening. Do you see what that does for you? Two things. One, it helps you practice engage listening. Two, it reduces the amount of time you are using to speak. So when you're going into anywhere, look for, like, engage yourself, like practice. When Gracie said practice, 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 sometimes the practice is for you. So before you go out, before you go for any networking event, imagine it, visualize it, like, okay, I'm going for this networking event. What is the event about? Right? What kind of people might be there? What kind of topics might be interesting for them? And look at questions around those areas that you can ask. Class. So that means you can even go for an event that is not your area of forte, that is not your industry area. But if you have the questions, imagine me walking into a forex conference. They do that a lot here, and they always disturb me to come. Even this year, I didn't go. I'm like, I'm not sure I'll go. It's currently on now, but I don't know anything about forex. I'm not even interested. People have dragged me, like, come and learn how to trade. I'm like, no, 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 I'm not interested. I know my risk quotient, and I'm not ready to increase that quotient right now. Let me stay with what I know. But I can actively enter that event and network. Why? I will just be asking questions like, oh, really? And they will be eager. They want to learn. They want to teach me now. Now. So they'll be the one talking. So I'm like, once I'm like that and I position myself like, oh, oh, really? I didn't know about that. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, shit. That's it. And before you know, you would have talked to 1, 2, 3, 4 people that you would have learned more about. Some people would have finished talking. They will not remember, like, you did not tell me anything about you. And I'll be like, oh, well, no problems. You know my name. So follow me. And maybe we can hang out sometime so that you can know more about me. That even keeps them inquisitive. Like, okay. We need to hang out. We need to hang out. And that opens door for you to build that relationship. When you listen, if you don't take anything away from here today, take that away. Listen and ask questions. When you do that, it positions you. You will not have to talk too much, number one, but you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot about the subject matter. You will learn a lot about the speaker, whoever is speaking. And that puts you in a better position because now you probably remember their names better. You probably know one thing about them that you probably wouldn't have known before. All right. So that's one way to increase. Even if you do this for the next 3 months, 90 days, go on a challenge, 90 days. Every event I go to, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be asking questions and listening to people and getting to know people. Don't worry about you. You know, sometimes when we want to do those things, we go with the idea like, people must know what I am. Oh. So you're always ready. So, I am Ejiro. I do this, I do that, I do that, I do that. Calm down, calm down. Every life is not about selling. Life is not about letting people like being the center of attraction all the time. Sometimes when you just relax, you'll be shocked at the amount of information that you're going to absorb, that you're going to soak in. So if you want to increase that, practice engage listening and ask a lot of questions. Also develop empathy, put people in your shoes. And I think that's one thing that helps me, the empathy part, because I know that, I think for me though, I've not, from when I was young, I don't think I've ever been in that place where I am shy. No, I've always been a very outgoing kid. I'm always in front. I'm always on stages. I'm always out there. So this is that's why I say it's my natural habitat, right? But even at that, there have been times where I get into a room and I feel very awkward. I feel very out of place. I feel very little. There are places you go, you'll be like, what am I doing here? Ah, How did I find myself here? So you're constantly questioning yourself. And so in that kind of situation, I know I am 100% awkward and shy and scared. Like I don't want to say anything that will go and press spoil. So I know what it feels. I know what that awkwardness feels like. So I can look out for it in a gathering. So I see people who are like, you can see like you can even see that to make eye contact is war for them. It's like they are going to melt. So when I see people like that, my the empathy towards them, understanding how that can feel, I'll just go and say hi. Hey. You will even see the response of the hi. Sometimes it's like, thank you so much for coming to say hi to me, because I don't know I was going to do it before. I've seen it happen many times. Sometimes in event like that, that person now becomes my co-participant. We will come be moving, we will not be moving everywhere together in that event and meeting other people. Do you see? So empathy, practice empathy. When you are empathetic towards others, you can sense when somebody is feeling awkward, when somebody is feeling like shy, when somebody is feeling lonely, when somebody is feeling like they are like literally scared. You can sense it when you are empathetic. All right. So I think I'll just stop there. Grace, you want to say something?
Yeah, and I like that, and I think it's even okay to get to that point, so that arrogance will not now be the end goal. Knowing
Yes.
that
Yes.
you can feel you know some people will tell you that no, you should always be confident. We've been doing, like, I've been doing public speaking for a while, but every time I have a speech to deliver, I always feel anxious.
Yeah.
My tummy will do blah blah blah. But once I hit the stage and I open my mouth, I will be
That's
able
it.
to flow. In the same vein, there are places you go to, and it happens to the best of us. At some point, we all have that little child or that little person inside of us that would be like, afraid to make mistakes, and
Mm,
not to be judged. I think the best of the best, even the presidents and the the thought leaders and people that we from our own end will see them that they have it all. They still get to
Yeah, they
places
still
where, yeah, that they feel they'll be judged, not
right.
necessarily because they're not capable or they're not good enough, but because they know that if the society doesn't judge you, one person that is there that's not happy with you will judge you, or something awkward. And I
Right.
leave room for that. I leave room for that. If I'm working, if I go to a place, I leave room for discomfort. I leave room
Mm,
for mistakes. I leave
right.
room. I actually allow people to judge me, to say, who is she? What is it? Now let me tell you a quick story. When I was coming to Abuja, so Lagos is a bit more for non-Nigerian Nigerian listeners, and for people that are not they've never been to Lagos. Lagos is a madhouse, like I would say. Lagos is ga, 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 ga. Lagos is like
Very
New York.
aggressive.
Yeah, Lagos is like Bombay. Lagos is like the most it is the busiest of it's very busy.
Cities.
I don't know how to.
Mm.
It's busy, it's noisy, it's everything. Da, 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 da. So that environment has made an average Lagosian to be
To
hyper.
be very aggressive, yeah.
Somebody will stop you to ask you, please. You say, oh, ole, ole, ole. You're always aggressive. You're always hyper. You're always on the fast lane, right?
Always alert. Shine
When
your
I
eyes.
shine your eyes, when they're not going to shine now for you, you're always at the edge. So
Yeah,
when I
that's true.
moved, and I lived in Lagos, I grew up in Lagos. However, I would say that we were the Ajebotas, that we did not enter the streets of Lagos like it was when I became an adult that I started working that I really experienced Lagos. But when
Lagos.
I was growing up, I remember when I left Lagos for Jos. I went to school in Jos. And then when they are crossing, I will wait. I will make sure I don't see any car before I cross. They'll say, you're the only Lagosian I see that will still be waiting. All these Lagosians, they will run. I say, I am not that type. I beg. I love my life. I beg. I cannot
Mm.
go and be behaving like mad Lagosians, right? So when after working in Lagos for a period as an adult, I now relocated to Abuja. And I came with that energy. I came with the ga energy. Oh yeah, let's do this, let's do this. They changed it for me. This
They
Abuja. They are
humbled you.
proud. So proud about them. They are super proud. Like
Wow.
it became awkward when I come with so much excitement. Let's go. This was me, moving to Abuja, telling myself that I was going to build, because even though I was living in Lagos, I didn't really build my name because my life was triangular. It was office, home, office, home, office, home, office, home, nothing extra. The few times that I did extra things, there were things with my commando
Colleagues.
friends, my
Okay.
school, my secondary school people. So no new friends like that, you know. So babes, when I came to this Abuja, when I go to Ibadan, I'm like, hello, they'll be doing like they'll be like Kenne,
Who is
Kenne, they'll
this?
look at
Oh,
me, they
wow.
look at me funny. After a while, that's why they say your
You
environment will
adjusted.
just humble you. After a while, I started doing quiet, quiet. When I now get into a room, the part of me that was trying to develop, by being more sociable, being available, I mean, to able to walk into a room and, network with one or two people, the way
The
they started
environment.
behaving, the environment just, I beg, what is it? What, if you don't want to be my friend, you don't want to be your friend, I beg, get out. You know, I was doing that for a while. And then I realized that the people in Abuja, their own setup is they don't just warm up. They don't warm up to you immediately.
Oh.
They
Mm.
would warm up to you eventually, but it would take time. People are
Mm.
dealing with a lot of things. And unlike people in Lagos, they are not on the fast lane. They're very laid back. Most of them work for the
Mm.
government. They're laid back. Nothing is chasing them. Anytime they get to work, they get to work. You don't rush them. When it comes to hyping and overreacting, they're not for that. They don't want you to look at them as lousy. They don't want you to see them as overly
Out there.
out there. So yeah, it's fine.
Mm.
I can do that too. As a matter of fact, I was born to do that because I know how to adapt. One skill I have is my adaptability. However, I didn't want to kill the
That's
the cheerful part of me. So what
yeah
did
of
I
you.
do? I decided to study. I
Hmm.
decided to study and observe. So that's another skill that I think is a good skill to have. It's okay to learn how things are done in certain areas. That's another way to improve yourself if you work in an office. There's a way they do things there
There's a
that when you come
culture.
at all, once you bring in new ideas, they'll tell you, get out. This is how we
That's not
do
how we
things.
do
There's
it here. Yeah.
yeah, learn their own style and gradually win them with results. Win them over
Right.
with results. Win them over with how you're gradually bringing in your own ideas. But if you bring it and force it on them or force it on them, they will
They would
trash your
repel you.
idea and trash
Yeah.
everything out. Right. So when
Yeah.
I realized that, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to seek it. I'm just going to, calm down a bit,
Relax.
relax, learn how to build trust, and
Hmm.
guess what? That's more sustainable. Unlike
Yeah.
Lagos people some of them will become your friend. Now, they'll be all over the place. You will not see them
As
again.
fast as
They
they
have
came.
disappeared. Then when you meet again, I say this friend of the moment is not what I want. So I've realized that the Abuja people, they want to trust you. They want to be able to
They're more
draw
of the
knowledge.
builders than just
They are builders,
gate
some of them,
crashers.
most of them. And then when they are
Hmm.
able to trust you enough, then they will be natural. They will come in naturally, and you guys will be closer than the one that when you will see you shout, talk, and
And that's
disappear,
where it
and then
ends.
that's where it ends. So I think another social skill and another way to build your social quotient is to be adaptable.
Hmm.
It's not like there's some people that they hate that they're not able to effect change, and because they're not able to effect change, they will just lock up and then they'll just trash. For me, even though I was like, if that's how you want to do it, oh yeah, game on, I know how to do it. But it wasn't working for me. I'm a businesswoman. I need people in my life. I need to be able to sell to people. And the only way to sell to people is to connect with them. One of the ways to sell is to connect with the people you're selling to.
Right.
So
Right.
far, so good. It has been an amazing way of, getting into these people that I have around here.
I
And
love it.
yeah,
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that's so very important to also kind of read your surroundings, read your environment to know how to adapt to that environment. Sometimes what you know or how it's being done in one environment might not work, even though it's the same principle, but how you dish it, how you serve it might not be the same. So you need to also learn. And that's again listening. So listening, when we say listening, it's not just your ears, your eyes, your mind. You're looking at, okay, how is this thing done? How are the people here responding? Okay, what gives in this kind of society and things like that. And then you'll be able to gradually, it's not as much as fitting in just to blend in. No, you can still have your flavor to it, right? For example, I am the energetic EJ. I'm energetic. I am out there and everything. But still, like you said, sometimes I get into the room now and I'm just like quiet, right? But again, for me right now, it's like, and I love the feedback, and I love and I'm grateful to God for it. It's like I get into rooms now, people just like, I know when I'm like, oh, I want to introduce myself. I'm like, I know you online, energetic EJ. I'm like, oh wow, okay. So at the same time, like, oh my, I got to be careful now because there are eyes everywhere, eyes on the walls and everything. Yeah, but again, it's like at the same time, there are rooms that you enter, even the vibe, you can feel the vibe from the room. Like it is palpable. So for me, when my energy enters that kind of room, it's like, nah, no decorum. We are loud, it is us, it is I. Let's do it, right? But there are rooms you enter, you're like, calm down. Don't show yourself here first. Calm down. See that at least you see one person that is like you that you can mirror. If nobody, please just keep that energy and contain it. Contain it. And most times, like when you then listen, you will definitely see somebody that vibe with you in that room. Like, oh my god, like and then you can open up and gently, gently, like a light, it starts shining, shining, shining. Anyways, I really do hope that you have found this episode very, very engaging and very insightful, talking about your social quotient. Again, it's like if you don't have this at all, it will be difficult for you. Life will be hard, and life not supposed to be hard. So if you're not Nigerian, it means that life is you supposed to understand that one now. Life not supposed hard. Life is not meant to be hard, right? Don't carry the weight of the world on your shoulders alone. Like no matter how quiet, reserved, conserved you are, there are people like you. And so there is a community for you. So find a way to get into that community and build your social skills from there. There is no social you alone. There is no social skills building alone. It's not possible. You can't be relating with yourself. So you need people. So sometimes if you can't do it one on one, you might be able to achieve more when you are a part of a community, because from being a part of that community you probably see more people like yourself or people with interests like you. No matter how quiet you are in this life, if there is something that you're interested in, you will talk. There are people that are introvert, but when they talk about football like this, you will be like, wait, what? You have a voice? Wow, I've never heard your voice before. Because that's something they are interested in. That's something they know. For some, it is game. When they start to talk about games like this, you'll be like, what? This person can talk? Yes. So look for people like you in that regard, at least to kickstart the journey. Look for people like you, join communities of like minded people, and then build that rapport, learning, understanding, training yourself on how to listen to people, how to speak to people, how to empathize, and things like that, so that you can then increase your social quotient, because it is important for you in every sphere of life. Thank you so much for being a part of our conversation today. This is Your Voice, Your Impact, and I am the energetic EJ. Yes, yes, yes. Again. So, yes, again, next month we're having our first year anniversary for Your Voice, Your Impact. Watch out for the announcement. We should announce soon and put something together. I would like to celebrate it. If you are listening right now, watching this, and you would love to be a part of it, just reach out to us, because we would love for us to talk about, to have more speakers for that celebration. So it's going to be more like a summit, but we'll have more speakers to come around for the event. So if you want to be a part of it, please reach out and come share your voice and spread your impact. I am the energetic EJ. I'm a life and transformational coach, and I work with women aged 40 and above to turn their abandoned dreams into achievable goals. And I do this by helping them activate their voice for impact. I'm all about impact. I exist to leave a lasting impact, and I want to do that or help other people unleash their impact using their voices. All right. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, you can reach out to me, especially if you're a woman in your 40s and above. All right. This is me, Gracie. Over to you as we round up this session.
Alrighty, it's been an interesting one today, and I hope that this week you watching this right now, you'd share this. Please share, like, and subscribe. It's very important we do something good today. Just do something nice by sharing this. Yeah. And then yes, I am a physicist and a life coach. What I do is I help you build systems, especially in your personal and professional life, so that you can have that channel of achieving your goals while having fun doing it. I would help you look at the scientific way, and then you would really get the results that you're looking to have. I'm also the founder of an NGO called Friends Lean On Global Foundation, where we educate people on mental and emotional wellness. Do well to reach us if you want any of our services so that we can give you our own value. And yes, please subscribe again to our YouTube channel. Have a wonderful week, people.
God bless you all. See you next week. Take care now. Bye, guys.